We are in Budapest. And I have been doing some serious thinking and soul searching. I have decided to take the YouTube thing more seriously. So make sure you hit the bell, the like button, the subscribe button, donate $5 to somebody's Patreon, be nice to your neighbor, and quit being a shitty person in general. Oh shit, that means I have to be more excitable. Okay, fuck it, I quit caring already. Just do whatever and... There's snow up on them there hills. Maybe that was the one we went to.
Canada. I give you one. You're from Canada, right?
Yeah. Huh. Hey, I am from Canada. Once. That 1 pound, right? Yeah. I am Canadian, eh? Sorry. Boot that. Maple syrup.
kingdom, and there was no Western kind of kingdom and Western kind of state. We were like a bunch of people organized by the Eastern way.
Yeah.
So like, it was called not the king but somebody else, and this was the first king actually. And it is important that this king and that king came from the only and first Hungarian family of kings. So from the 14th century, all the kings were coming from abroad and not from Hungary. So this is also a little bit confusing, but these were Hungarian people. He was also a king from that Hungarian family, but he was very famous about a saying that in the 12th century he said that there is no witches. Meanwhile, in Spain and in Western Europe, and he said that 200 years earlier. There is the Magna Carta in the UK from 2015, and we had not exactly, but the same kind of paper, which was signed in 1222, so 7 years later, and this was the king who issued that paper. And let's get back to the migration. So, we have stopped the Mongolians, we have stopped the Turks, and we have stopped the Russians from invading the Western Europe, and he was the king who stopped the Mongolians from the invasion. And so those kings came from the Hungarian family. This is the first king who came from a French family or French-Italian family. He was an Anjou king. So they were also really powerful and strong people. And for example, that was his son. And at that time, Poland and Hungary was unified under his kingdom, and that's why it was a big solution or a big conglomerate. Those with the signs and with the cars here, or not cars, but like coaches here, I don't really see the background as well. So that was János. He was the guy who in the history of Hungary there was 3 governors, and always in the times when there were problems. So that was the time when the Turkish people didn't invade Hungary at that time, but he was the one who made preemptive strikes to make sure that the Turkish wouldn't come, and so he was the first not emperor, this governor, but sorry, not governor. And that was his son, and he was Hungarian, and he was also Hungarian. So again, and he was a king who was elected at the ice of the Danube. So he was an elected king, not a born king actually. And at that time, that was the time when Hungary was the most stable. So as far as I learned it, the income of this kingdom was like France or the UK's income. So that was the time when we were a kind of Central European power. And now, that was in the 15th century. This was the invasion of the Turks, and then the country was divided into 3 parts. So the northern part belonged to the Habsburgs, I mean a new king coming from an Austrian family, and the middle part, even Buda, belonged to the Turkish people, and there was Transylvania, the eastern part, which belonged to this person actually. And he made a revolution against the Austrians and stuff like that. But he was also not Transylvanian king, because it wasn't a kingdom, but he was a leader in Transylvania, and that was the core Hungary actually. don't know that. No, actually, that was also in the 17th century. That is the 18th century. The Turkish people are about to leave Hungary because they got weakened, and the Hungary is getting unified under the rule of the Habsburgs from Austria. And this was at that time we kept making revelation against Austria and against Habsburgs, and this was a leader of such a revolution. The same thing actually, but about 40 years later. And then Kossuth Lajos, he was in the US as well several times, so we had another revolution against the Habsburgs in the middle of 19th century. That was the spring of nations or something like that. The revolution was also in Paris, also in Vienna, also in, I don't know, several in North Italy as well. And he was the leader of the Hungarian Revolution, and then when he had to leave, he went to Turkey, because at that time we were already friends, and he made a lot of journeys to Western Europe and to the US as well. And I think that there is a city named Kossuth in the US, and there is also... So he was at that time like a fan, because he was very good a supporter of the democratic changes and for the rule of law, and this is why in the US he was really a famous person.